Hey y'all, and welcome back. Today we're going to go over some of the basics of perimeter, area, and volume. We're going to have more specific videos on perimeter, more specific videos on area, and more specific videos on volume. But right now, I just want to get a basic idea of what these three terms are and how they relate to each other. So first, let's talk about perimeter. Perimeter, if you remember, is measuring all the way around the outside of a shape. So that's what I'm going to write for my definition. It's all the way around a shape. Our perimeter goes all the way around the shape. If we add up all of the sides of the shape, that's our perimeter. So some key words that we might have the rim, we might have the edge, we might have a border, we might have an outside, or we might have a fence. Anytime you see any of those words, you're probably talking about the perimeter. If you talk about the rim, or the edge, or the border, or the outside, or putting up a fence, those would all be things that we're talking about if we're talking about the perimeter. Here's the formula for the perimeter of a rectangle. The formula for the perimeter of a rectangle is either perimeter is equal to the length side plus the length side plus the width side plus the width side, or if you wanted to simplify it down, it's perimeter is equal to 2 lengths plus 2 widths. And I'm going to use a capital L here just so that way we can see that that's an L, because I know sometimes my handwriting is hard to read. So I've got my perimeter is 2 lengths plus 2 widths. Then I'm going to draw an example in there. So here, I'm going to draw in a little rectangle. I'm going to say this is a 2 by 3 rectangle. To find my perimeter, I'm going to say 2 sets of 2 and 2 sets of 3. 2 times 2 is 4 because there are 2 sets of 2. 3 times 2 is 6 because there are 2 sets of 3, which gives us 6. So now, if I were to add up all the sides to find my perimeter, I've got 2 plus 3 is 5, plus the 2 is going to give us 7, plus the 3 is going to give us 10. Our measurement is 10. Over here, I want to add one more thing, which is this over here, we have standard units. So this is regular units. They're regular units. So if I'm measuring these in feet, it would still be 10 feet. Not 10 feet squared, not 10 feet cubed, it would be 10 regular feet. If I'm measuring this in inches, it would be regular old 10 inches. It wouldn't be inches squared or inches cubed, it's regular inches. Let's talk about area now. Area, remember, is the measurement of how many squares will fit on the inside. So this is how many squares fit inside. Okay, how many squares would fit on the inside? Here are some keywords that you might see for area. If you see a problem and it's asking you about painting, like you're painting a wall, it's probably asking you about area. If you see a problem and that problem is asking you about covering or carpeting, so covering or carpeting, it's probably talking about area. Similarly, if it says about tiling or making like tiles, it's probably talking about area. Area is how many squares will fit on the inside. For area, there are lots of different formulas. I'm just going to give you the ones for a rectangle. For a rectangle, our area is equal to the length times the width. We multiply the length times the width. Then let's look at an example. Let's look at the same kind of rectangle. We had a 2 by 3 rectangle. We're going to multiply the length times the width. So 3 times 2 will give us our area. Our area is 6. But there's something weird about area. Area doesn't use regular units. It uses units squared. So if these were meters, it would be meters squared. If these were feet, it would be feet squared. I'm going to write units squared. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Just like I wrote regular over here, I'm going to write units squared. And that's like a little 2 up top. And the reason why it has a little 2 is because we're multiplying two things together, two of the dimensions together. So it's a little square, units squared. Last one is volume. Whereas area was how many squares would fit inside, and it's talking about a flat shape. Volume is talking about how many cubes will fit inside, and it's talking about a 3D shape. So I'm going to write how many cubes fit inside. So I want to know how many cubes would fit inside. If I was trying to find the volume of this classroom, I would have to fill up the entire classroom with cubes to find my volume. Anytime it's talking about filling, it's probably talking about volume. If it's talking about pouring a liquid in there, it's probably talking about volume. Or if it's talking about stuffing some things in there, it's probably talking about volume. In 5th grade, we have two different formulas for volume. We have the general formula for volume, which is volume is equal to the area of the base times the height. And we have the specific volume formula for rectangular prisms, which is that volume is equal to the length times the width times the height. All we've done there is, this is the method that we should use going forwards, the area of the base times the height, because it will work for all kinds of solids, whereas this one only works for rectangular solids. For right now, you can use whichever one works best for you. Let's look at an example. So for an example, I'm going to draw a cube. And let's say that all the sides on this cube are 5. 5 tall, and 5 wide, and 5 long. To find my volume, I would do the length times the width times the height. So 5 times 5 times 5. 5 times 5 times 5 gives us 125. Now for volume, because we said we want to know how many cubes are there, these are units cubed with a little 3 up top. And I'm going to write units cubed over here with a little 3. All right, I hope this helped, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.